What's going on, everyone? Mad Chad 412 here, back at it on YouTube. And today we are going to talk about something really fucking stupid. Al Villanueva, the war hero, who plays left tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a former Pro Bowler, on Monday night's opener, covered up Antwon Rose's name. Antwon Rose was a victim of a police shooting. He was shot several times in the back while running away from a suspected crime scene. He was 17 years old and unarmed. The team apparently had announced that they were going to put Antwon Rose's name on the back of their helmets. This was even posted on the official Steelers Facebook and Twitter page before the game. However, Villanueva covered up Antwon Rose's name and wrote in Alwyn Cash, who was a black soldier that was killed in Iraq in 2005. Now, the problem is, the team says that they came to a decision as a team, and Villanueva did the opposite. I don't have a problem with who Villanueva decided to put on his helmet. I don't think anyone would. We honor veterans and war heroes all the time. In fact, if you go to a NFL game, you would think that you were at a fucking military parade. They honor Marines, people coming back home, they march, they make you stand and sing the national anthem, fireworks and flyovers. Because the Pentagon and the Defense Department pays the NFL to force these military parades on its fans prior to the game. It's Fox patriotism. No one is upset at who Villanueva put on the back of his helmet. What people were upset was the team said they were going to do something, and he did the opposite. If we all agreed to wear brown and you wear blue, you kind of look like a selfish asshole. And the problem is, this is the second time that the team apparently decided that they were going to do something together, unified, which is something we desperately need in America right now. And they didn't do that. No, instead, back in Chicago, a few years ago, the team decided they were going to stay in the locker room or the entranceway during the national anthem. That way they could avoid kind of any controversies about who kneels, who stands, who gives a shit. Because all it does is create a media circus, and it creates what I would consider to be a distraction, an unnecessary one. Well, during that event, Al Villanueva, he decided he was going to go out there without the rest of his teammates. And I mean, honestly, just the picture of him standing there with his teammates in the back makes his teammates look like a pile of shit. And the thing is, the people on the right, the keep politics out of sports people, or I'm not going to watch the NFL people, they're going to support Villanueva because he's standing up for what they believe is the right thing, the anthem and veterans. But we're not discussing that. We're discussing Al going against his team. And the ironic thing is, I'm seeing people saying, oh, well, good for Villanueva, good for Al for being an individual and going against the mob. The irony in that is, that's what Colin Kaepernick did. He went against everyone else. He took a knee while everyone stood for what he believed in. And you crucified him for it. And you killed him for it. And you called him the N-word. and you called him monkey, and you called him other racist names, and called him a Muslim. And to this day, you still vilify him. But he did exactly what Villanueva did, just different things. But it's okay because Villanueva supports the politics that you support. See, the right doesn't want to keep politics out of sports. They want to keep your politics out of sports, or Kaepernick's politics out of sports. They don't mind politics in sports. If President Trump went down there and high-fived some of the players, they would support it. They would retweet it. They would share it and say, this is what it's all about. This is the good stuff right here. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Look at those players supporting Trump. Hell yeah, give me some more of those politics and sports. I fucking love it. But the minute it's considered liberal, which I didn't know that wanting to end racism was a liberal stance. All my years of being a libertarian and not being considered a Democrat or Republican, but being very against, very anti-racism, I didn't know that I was being a liberal that whole time. So with Big Al, I think he needs to talk to his teammates. I think they need to talk. The biggest problem right now is instead of focusing on a big win Monday night season opener, and now with the home opener looming on Sunday, we've spent all week talking about stickers on the back of helmets instead of, hey, the Steelers looked really good and they have their Hall of Fame quarterback back with a good defense. This team really might fucking do something good this year. Instead, we're talking about Villanueva. And now Maurkice Pouncey, who also said that he was not familiar with the Rose story, which is bullshit because he's been in Pittsburgh since 2010. He knows what happened. And says that he supports police. The guy that was wearing a Free Hernandez hat. Well, there's no surprise here because, as you can see, here's Maurkice Pouncey riding a speedboat with a giant Trump flag. So that's the least shocking thing ever. What this all tells me right now is that even in a team sport where you think unison and brotherhood is the most important thing, they're not very unified. It is absolutely a great metaphor for where our country stands. As we continue to try to find some sense of unison, some sense of a wedge between the divide that we have right now, not even in football can we find that. It's a sad state of affairs, and I think the leaders on the team, starting with Mike Tomlin, need to figure out how they can communicate better to avoid these unnecessary distractions, silly distractions. But then again, I got a YouTube video out of it. Follow me on Twitter, MadChad412. Facebook, 412 Sports Talk. Podcast every Thursday, starting next week with weekly guests. Like the video. It would help out a lot. Comment. I'll be doing a giveaway very shortly here. I have everyone's name entered so far. And subscribe to the channel. See you out there.